Finally, my Grammostola rosea is finally molting. Sorry this isn't the best quality video, but I don't want to disturb her. Tarantulas do not like to be disturbed, especially when they're molting. So yeah. She was the first tarantula I got back in the summer of 2011. Awesome. You can see she's lying down on her web mat. I knew it was coming, but it sure did take a while. So yeah. Isn't that sweet? They look so cute when they're on their backs, don't they? Well, good for you, girlie. And as soon as she's done molting, I don't want to open the enclosure to fill up her water dish, but right now, because I don't want to disturb her. Usually critter keepers are not easy to open sometimes, and it just, it can be quite disturbing to the tarantula when you try to open these sometimes, with some more than others. So I'm going to have to wait till she's done molting before I give her water. But I'll be up early in the morning, so she'll be good then. They don't require a lot of humidity anyway, not these. Alright, so I guess we'll just keep an eye on her progress. Not going to be able to stay up too much later, so unfortunately I'm going to miss the majority of her molting process. I know larger teas take longer to molt, but unfortunately she'll probably finish overnight, so I'll miss it. But we'll get to see her in all her glory tomorrow, and examine her molt if it's in good condition. Alright, thanks. So the Grammostola rosea has appeared to have successfully molted. Very good. Let me just barely tap her, just so I can get a look at her, make sure she's okay, and yeah, she looks good. Nice set of clothes there. So I'm going to give her some water so she can hydrate herself after that difficult ordeal of molting. Some food bolus, I think. There we go. There you go, sweetie. Okay, we'll leave her alone and let her get a drink. Alright? Thanks. I've known all along that my Grammostola rosea has been a female, but there's the confirmation right there for those of you who are learning how to sex your teas. There's the flap right there, indicating that this is indeed a female. Nice molt. Very cool. Alright, thanks guys. Look what other tarantula is in the process of molting. The Salmopoeus camerdry. It's lying on a web bed that it created in more of an upright position. So we'll see what he or she looks like after they're done. Awesome. Okay guys, I don't know if I did something stupid or if I did what I thought was best. This is my Salmopoe's Camera Dry, one of the new ones that I got recently, the freebie. Well, I saw in its enclosure that I had the substrate in. It was in a molting position, and it was in its web, and I was like, okay, this one's been molting way too long. You know, usually smaller tarantulas molt quicker than the larger ones do. So I examined it a little extra closely, and I saw that it looks like he's struggling to get out of the molt. He is definitely alive because his legs do move, but honestly, I don't have faith in myself to try to remove the molt myself. It has been over 24 hours, and you know, with a tarantula this small, I just don't have faith in myself to remove the molt myself without killing it. So what I did was I put it in an ICU, and I just laid it on its back like, you know, it would molt, and you know, put a damp paper towel in there, and hopefully it could molt on its own without me having to interfere, because I really don't feel comfortable trying to peel a molt off of a baby tarantula. You know, I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing that with a larger tarantula, but especially a delicate baby such as this. So it is definitely alive, and you know, I don't know what else to do. It's either going to die in its molt, or somehow we'll be able to get out of it. But it's been a while. And there for a while I was thinking it was just the molt and not the tarantula, because I barely would tap it and it didn't move at all. So I thought, okay, either it's dead or it's the molt and the tarantula is just hiding under the substrate somewhere. And I didn't want to disturb it too much in case it really was molting. Well, this time I know for sure it's alive because it was moving its legs earlier. So, you know, it's already been traumatized enough by me just moving it into, you know, this enclosure where it's damp. Maybe the moisture in there could help this tarantula molt before it's too late. So we'll give it a shot and see if what I did any good at all. Alright guys, hopefully it'll turn out good, but I'm not holding my breath. Alright, moving on. Well guys, nothing has improved. This time I decided to turn it on its, you know, underside rather than on its back, and see if that'll work. Maybe he could get a drink that way. But see, he's still alive. He cannot get out of that molt. And I sprayed it again. I sprayed the enclosure a little bit more, and even allowed some of the mist to get to, you know, to hit him, he or she. But I just don't know. I mean, and it's not, the molt isn't coming out far enough to where I feel like I could safely take it out myself. But if this doesn't work, I may have to resort to removing the molt myself, but I don't like it. I mean, look how small this tarantula is. Sorry about my baby making noise, but he's sad about the tarantula too. So, no good news to report yet. I guess I may try to work on him as a last resort, but I'm going to wait and see if this does any good first. Alrighty, moving on. Alright guys, I'm going to attempt to remove the molt. As you can see, the tarantula is still alive. I'm not going to enjoy this. I mean, well, let me see here. There's some parts of it that you could see I could probably easily get off, and then there's other parts that aren't so easy. So, wish me luck. In fact, the tarantula even flipped over. Okay. So I'm going to give it a go. I have different tools here I might use. I'm not going to film me trying to do this in case I do slip up and it does end up being a very gory thing and sad. So I don't really want that to be shown, and plus yeah, I mean, just I'm nervous and I want to have all of my concentration, you know, on the tea instead of worrying about if this is coming out on video. So anyway, we'll give it a go. Well, unfortunately, I was unable to successfully get hardly any of the molt off, just two very small pieces. It's just too early in the molt for me to significantly remove large pieces of the molt off of the tarantula. So I just put it back on in the ICU, and I'm just going to just try to make it as comfortable as possible. It actually flipped on its back again, so I'm just going to leave him on his back, and you know, spiders know best. So I'm going to add just a little more moisture in there just to make sure he has I mean, that's already a damp cloth, but maybe a little more won't hurt him. Maybe that'll aid, but I won't be surprised to find him dead. I may have even barely caused him to bleed. So that's another reason why I need to put extra water in there. Oh, it just stinks. Well, you can't say that I didn't try. If it was a larger tarantula, I think I would have more success. And if it was further along in the molt, I think I would have had more success. But since this one is so delicate and so early in the molting, I couldn't really do hardly anything. Pretty much the only thing I could pull off of it was a little bit off of the abdomen. So, oh well, I'll just try to make him comfortable. Alright, next. Well, unfortunately, my Somapoas camera did indeed die. It was to be expected. It was inevitable. But here's my Ephobopus murinus, doing very well. Actually escaped the enclosures. I had to catch her. But I put a dead cricket in there for it to eat. Alright, we'll move on to something else. Here is my lovely lady, my Grammostola rosea, who molted not long ago. It's been over a week. But here's her molt. You can see the comparison here. Well, that part fell off. To my hand. But yes, this is definitely a female. You can see the flap right there. But I already knew she was a female. So I can put her carapace on top there. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna see if she's ready to eat. But I'm also going to give her more water. It dried out. Well, she drank it. And so I'm going to give her some more. Did you forget what that was? That's dinner, my dear. Well, while she's playing with her food, I'll give her some water. There we go. Isn't she gorgeous, though? It's about time she molted for me. Well, I've had her since the summer of 2011, so, you know, it's understandable. Now it's December 2014. You know, they're very slow growers, and plus she's an old, she's not a baby, so. You still haven't gotten it. Yeah, maybe she will later. When I first got her, she ate like a pig. And then she went through a humongous fasting period that lasted over a year. Then she ate maybe 2 or 3 times after that, and then she went through fasting again as she was going through pre-molt. Yes, that's my son in the background. But yes, it's so good to see that beautiful shiny carapace again. See, the last one was starting to really get dull. But look at that. She is a beauty. Very first tarantula I ever owned. Alright, well, get it at your leisure, because that's what is on the menu today. Alright, I got something else to show you. I knew this was about to happen. I saw my Paraphysa parvula on this web bed before it had flipped over, and I was like, yep, it's coming. And looky looky. Gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is take the molt out and add some moisture to the enclosure and give her something to drink, he or she. I'd have to examine the molt a little more closely. Might be a boy, but I'll have to look at it closer later. But yeah, beautiful, very nice. Alright, well, since this one is freshly molted, I don't want to bother this one, so I'm going to just give him some water. Awesome.